Hey there, hope you're all keeping well. It's Adrian over at Sampleist. Woodwinds are one of the bedrocks of the modern orchestra, and today we're going to take a look at an interesting library from Sonixinema. Wind Swells is designed to help you create music with movement, and it features a collection of 5 core articulations containing normale, molto vibrato, pulsing, air and flutter. You will need Kontakt 6.7.1 or above, and this library will work with a free Kontakt player. Boasting 172 presets with close, mid, far, ambient and mixed positions for the microphones, this library has clearly been created with detail in mind. Taking up 4.99GB of disk space, it is currently on introductory pricing at £119 at the time of this recording, and the full price is £149. So let's take a listen to what this library has to offer. Let's now take a deeper dive into this library. I want to start off by actually marvelling at the clean cut look of the interface. Just nice, simple, understated. And across the top here we have all the articulations. We've got normale, which is a rich open sound, molto vibrato, which is the same as the normale but with a very exaggerated vibrato sound. We've got pulsing, which is an experimental technique where the players perform a variety of short notes at random. We have air, and that's players blowing into the mouthpiece, trying to produce sort of like no discernible pitch and provide sort of a breathy quality to the sound, sort of more like a texture. And finally we have flutter. This is where the player vibrates their tongue whilst blowing into the instrument. It's quite a common technique for the woodwinds to do that. Each articulation can be assigned to a key switch, and you bring that on by pressing the selected key on your MIDI controller. So that's F#2. So if I pressed F#2, that will bring that on and off. So I'll do F#2, there we go, F#2, G2 moves it to the next one, G#2 brings that one on, and you can bring multiple articulations on if you so wish. So we'll just stick with this normale F#2 here. So you can do that by a key switch or by just selecting these little sliders in the top left hand corner. You can choose your articulation for each key switch by clicking the little right hand corner. You get this little drop down menu. So you can assign your articulation that way. And then we have your normal panning and volume controls here. So panning on the bottom, volume on the right hand side here. So you can also select whether to re-tongue on every note or no tongue. This allows you to design sort of smooth crescendos and decrescendos. So to do that, you just go into that top corner there and just change it to no tongue and re-tongue. So you can sort of design your sound and the way you want your crescendos and decrescendos to actually come across. So this little line graph underneath the articulations allows you to adjust the length of the articulation from half a bar to a full 4 bars. So let's see what that sounds like. And if I move that to half a bar, it's quite short. And if I do it to full 4 bars, so you see how it actually crescendos sort of at the 2 bar mark and then comes back down to a decrescendo there. So that's a quite handy way of shaping your sound as well. We then have the global box in this bottom left hand corner, and this gives you access to the non-effects tools to shape your sound. We've got proximity on the left here, and this allows you to adjust the distance from your woodwind ensemble and effectively changes sort of the microphone positions from close to far. So if we do this, we're close at the moment. Now I'm going to bring that down. We get so it gives you more airy sound there from as though you're standing from a distance. We have expression, which is in most libraries here, and that's like mapped to CC11, so MIDI controller 11, and adjust the volume of the instrument. You've got the modulation dynamics bit here, and that's mapped to CC27 and replicates the dynamics from going quiet to loud. So I've got that mapped to my mod wheel. So you can control it that way. We then have the stereo knob in the middle, and this allows you to change the sound from stereo all the way through to mono. So if far left is mono, make it super wide by changing it to the right there, and then just center it back again. Then we have 2 knobs underneath, blur and gloss. These allow you to shape your sound even further by applying a low pass and a high pass filter, so a bit more of a synthesizer type technique there. We then have the mix tab, and this allows you even more ability to place your microphones and to create your own sound stage. The slider on the far right here is muted by default. Now this is quite an interesting thing, because if you enable it, you get a pre-mixed combination. So if I bring this in now, now if I solo this, so I have like a distant character, so you can actually blend this with your normal sound. So if I bring the close down, and I want a bit of mid in there as well, and I get a different type of sound altogether. So on the right of the effects section here, we have the usual reverb, bit crush and delay. So nothing unusual there. You've got quite a few reverb settings here that you can actually have and give yourself either a more intimate sound or a nice wide cathedral sound. And the sync button, the button here, will naturally sync everything to tempo. We then have a simple EQ interface with low cut, high cuts, and you just change your frequencies, and you can boost and cut and alter your Q there. And then we have finally the envelope section. Now the envelope is just your normal ADSR, so you can change your attack decay, sustain release of the articulation, so you can have a quicker, sort of more abrupt attack. So very slow. So you can adjust your sound that way. Now we have the mapping page. Now this is quite interesting, this mapping page, because it allows you to adjust the active range of a given articulation. And all you need to do is, if I just wanted to say I want pulsing and normale at the same time, what I can do is say I want pulsing on the bottom half of the keyboard and normale from then on. So what I'll have then is a pulse in the left hand, so quite an interesting design technique that you can actually do here. You can even apply a bit of crossfading. You see a little shading here coming in here, so if you're overlapping slightly, you can crossfade between the two articulations if you so wish. And just reset. I'll reset that. You can also, I'll just take the pulsing off actually. Then you can also actually change the sort of octave of the sound, so you can make a sound deeper. Sounds always sound better when you sort of like bring them down octaves. That's the normal pitch. So you can get quite distinct sounds from this. And then you've got a button in the top right hand corner, which is really handy, and it allows you to move the key switch section. So you see these little shady keys around down the bottom here. If I move this, I can choose which keys on my keyboard or the key switches, which is really handy. No menu diving, just straight there in the top corner, push it and you're away. Then we have a gator section, and this is your normal sort of gate type, but on a bit of speed, so to speak, because we have 32 steps to play with, and you can have sequences programmed in for some really interesting sound design techniques. And you get this. You even have some presets to play with. So if I want a 16th, I'll go for preset 29. Let's have a listen to preset 35. So some interesting sound design options there for you to play with. So that's what the interface gives you. Nice, simple, understated, but gets you to where you want to be very fast. So let's listen to what this library sounds like in a composition context. So that was what the library sounds like in a simple music context. It's just a very short sketch of a little piece here, and all we have is a couple of multis here. It's a design from the design multi selection, and they're playing some nice rich chords. And we layer that with the ominous patch. And together we have this. So it cycles round the A minor chord progression there. And then to add a bit of depth to this, we add some lovely sort of bass type woodwind sounds, and we get this. So some nice growl, because when you add them together you get this. We then bring in a nice gator pad. See that little growl in the background there. Do like that sound. And then we have a simple lead melody line, which is a reverence and everlasting sustains. You can hear that sort of breathy quality, which is really nice. And with the everlasting sustains we have this. So the reverb sort of like blends in with the next note, which adds like an ethereal quality. We then add a lead line to this, just to sit over the top. And then when you couple them together, you get this sort of like soundscape. So very simple, very sort of elegantish for a little sketch. And that's what it sounds like in a musical context. This is my first time with a library from Sonixinema, and it really doesn't disappoint. The level of detail and the sampling really comes out, and you can almost feel the woodwind player in the room with you. The included articulations allow you to adapt to different styles, whether you are writing underscore and being delicate, or bold, brash and epic sounds. I did like the ease of how you can move the articulation key switches around, and it's not buried behind any menus, just a simple little button to press. If you are looking for a woodwind library that has bags of atmosphere and will add certain text to your sound, then put this one on your shopping list. We would like to thank Sonixinema for sending across Wind Swells for us to review. It is very much appreciated. And you, dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed this little journey, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel and visit thesampleist.com to see what we're all about.